Alright. Okay, so this is kind of like a practice run for something I'm going to be talking about probably for the next 20 years in various manifestations. So about 4 years ago I was introduced to Ron Teagarden. He's like kind of out of all the Caucasians, he's the master herbalist of all the white folks basically in America. He's been formulating for about 40 years, and I was introduced to him through my friend Russell through the Longevity Now conference. And he has a company out of LA called Dragon Herbs, and they're the top formulators of Chinese tonic herbs in the US. And so I came up with an idea, which was actually an idea that other people were already playing with, was to start a project where I'm converting recreational alcohol venues into tonic bars, elixir bars. Basically, this is set with the intention that the young people that are children today and the yet to be born children will probably not want to be getting wasted on alcohol in the years to come, because too many people are learning about their body and what actually is really good for them, what's going to allow them to thrive, what's going to allow their genetics to express more beautifully in their children. So as that kind of information gets on, people are going to figure out different ways of feeling good in their bodies, even in a psychoactive way, but not necessarily involving alcohol. So this is essentially, I'm providing the context here because this is a Dragon Herbs tonic bar near Beverly Hills. Very elegant. It's a bar. You could have music there if you wanted to, and instead of like alcohol coming out of the back, these are dispensers of tinctures. Some are they're alcohol-based tinctures, some of them, but you're only using about 10 milliliters per serving. So it's like basically instead of like a third of a shot would be a full day serving of tonics that are based on alcohol. Okay, so that's kind of, so you're using it because alcohol is a great delivery system for herbs, for berries, for mushrooms, because it's fat soluble. So it goes right into your membranes. It bypasses the GI tract. So when people say like red wine is good for you, they're hoping there's resveratrol in it, and the alcohol in the wine will carry that resveratrol more efficiently into your bloodstream than eating a grape would, because the resveratrol dissipates really quickly when you're eating grapes, and it's hard to get it. So with wine, it kind of gets in there, but most wines don't have a lot of resveratrol, and the ones that do, you have to drink too much wine in order to get the benefits of the resveratrol. So that's kind of, unless you're getting like port wines that are very syrupy, those kind have a little more. But essentially, that's sort of the background on this idea. So I'm going to be talking about the Chinese tonic herbs, and I'll be talking about the idea of a freedom bar a little bit more. Get my water before I dehydrate here. So actually, this dolphin yeah, it's me. This dolphin is a famous dolphin.
Oh.
His name is Renoir. He's in Cabo San Lucas. And basically, my mom gave me a book about this woman who's saving dolphins and whales, and she's like traveling around the world, like interacting with them. And I got to this chapter last night where she's talking about Renoir, the same dolphin. It's a male dolphin. He was apparently lost or something at sea. They found him by himself, as the story goes. And she was talking about him, and then I fell asleep as I was reading that chapter, so I still have to finish it. But I didn't know like he was like a really famous dolphin. But anyway, she's talking about how, and I think it was Star Trek 4, I don't know if you guys remember the Star Trek movies from the 80s, there was this machine going through outer space looking for planets to see if they have sounds of whales in the water. And then like the ones that didn't have the whales, that machine was going to destroy the planet because it figured there was no more life there. So it's kind of like recycle the energy of the planet. Do you remember that, Star Trek? And then Captain Kirk went back in time because in the year in the 23rd century, humans had extincted, all whales were extinct in the Star Trek movie. And so Captain Kirk had to go back to the 21st century and take whales and then bring them back to the 23rd century in a kind of a time machine, and then put them in the water, so then when that machine came to scan our planet for whale sounds, it was basically found to be whales, and then our planet was not destroyed. So she was writing about that story in context with this dolphin. So it's kind of interesting how...
And you have the same dolphin, yeah?
Yeah, so that's the same dolphin. Yeah.
The same dolphin.
In Cabo San Lucas.
What's his name?
Renoir.
Okay.
Renoir, yeah. So, all right. So there's two sides to everything in the physical world. We have even a left brain and right brain. We have the feminine brain. We have the masculine brain. They both have different kinds of functions. We have sugar and salt. We have night and day. We have the outer and inner. We have the past and the future. There's two sides to everything, and the harmony of our lives is based on these two sides coming together. So here's some more examples. In the world of nutrition, expansion and contraction, we're always putting things in our body that are either contracting us or expanding us. Like a savory dish, with onions and peppers and all that kind of stuff. We want that for contraction, and then all of a sudden we want dessert. We want like ice cream. What's that? Well, we've contracted too much. Now we want to expand. So like certain foods contract us, certain foods expand us. Certain behaviors, if you're working all day at work and you're in front of a computer, you're contracting, your blood vessels are constricting. That's why people like to go have a drink Friday night, because they've constricted their blood vessels, and alcohol is very yin. It expands the body out, right? So it expands the blood vessels. And so that's kind of the whole, everyone's always looking for that balance between the black and the white. Even with the acid alkaline pH, are you familiar with the pH balance of different foods, sort of?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Vadim, they used to say that alcohol, helps you to sleep, but it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
When I used to drink occasionally,
Yeah.
and I would have something at night, I would be awake for hours, like even with half a glass of wine.
Yeah.
So it really, you can really tell it's not
Right.
good for the system.
Well, it dehydrates you and that agitates the body, which then kind of makes you not want to be restful. I mean, that's kind of
the
the...
liver and so many other stuff.
Okay, so ironically, the Trinity also is part of nutrition, and the Trinity intersects with duality of the yin and the yang. So if you guys can grasp this intersection between duality and the Trinity when it comes to your body and what is happening on this planet, it's going to blow you away, because you're going to see it in so many different ways. So you have so in Chinese culture, Chinese tonic medicine, herbalism, there's something called Jing, Qi, and Shen. So that could be translated to body, soul, and spirit. Or if you take the candle analogy, you have the wax, you have the fire, and you have the light. In order to have a good fire and a good light on your candle, you have to have a lot of wax, right? And in the American culture, people are trying to do a lot of fire and light, like a lot of intense accomplishments and ambitions, but they're lacking a strong body. They're lacking the wax. So in Chinese tonic herbalism, the focus is to really focus on that Jing. This is your prenatal life force. This is your battery pack. This is your anchor. This is where you're plugged into the cosmos. Is in your Jing. This is where the cord comes into. And in Masonic artwork, you have three pillars. You have the moon, you have the sun, and the stars. So that also correlates to the Trinity here. And then the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost is actually a direct correlation in this as well. So that's very interesting. So I think water is the ultimate example of the Trinity. You have hydrogen, you have oxygen, an oxidant and the antioxidant makes water. So in this symbol, you have the yin and the yang. You have the left brain, right brain, and when they come together, right, concentration and meditation together bring contemplation. So when your brain hemispheres are balanced, you're in a state of contemplation, right? Let's say a lot of countries maybe overly into meditation. Maybe India has too much meditation, and they're not enough concentration. Or America maybe too much concentration, not enough meditation, right? So you have different even cultures that are brain imbalanced into the right or left brain. But when you synchronize the hemispheres, you bring them together, you have contemplation, and that's the state you always want to be in a state of contemplation. And that kind of brings together, and you have sort of like the Solomon sign, which is the two pyramids intersecting, which brings in heaven and earth into your reality. Okay, so as I was mentioning, with the tonic herbs, the Chinese tonic herbs, they have a system that's been worked out for 3,000 years, and they've really figured out which of the herbs are more Jing, more Qi, more Shen. Shen translates to spirit. Ultimately, why you want to put anything into your body.
Hey, somebody in that gold car over there? Is it you?
Yeah.
You gotta move it. You're in front of the water machine over there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if you could just park, we got plenty of parking out there. I know that people don't like to walk, but
Okay.
thank you.
So I'll do a Q&A and I'll wait for you, Mary.
Okay,
Okay.
thanks. It's difficult parking out there today.
Yeah, it's.
So challenging.
Does anybody have any? Is everyone clear on what's going on here? Okay. Like, even if it took like, I don't know, 2 years to really crack this open and figure this out, and actually think about it, do it. Like after 2 years, you'd be in a whole different reality. So it's really about kind of like, because I've been sort of playing with this idea for 10 years, but it was just all of a sudden different circumstances brought this together where I finally cracked it. And I wasn't diligent for 10 years, I was diligent for like 2 years, but it was a set of experiences that brought me to that. But now you guys don't have to go through 10 years. It's already,
no, you have it nicely presented.
Right, it's already available. Before I forget, I want to give you a couple of pamphlets since we have a second here. Maybe you have to move the car.
I think you didn't miss too much. You just only like metaphysically explain between like body, soul, and
So this is an
mind.
interesting article.
So the
Basically how to starve cancer cells by lowering the carbs and upping the fats, the healthy fats. And this is my own longevity tips. Like if someone has like what to do, this is like on one page, and then this is an article about like it was a study done at a university on young adults who are drinking the equivalent of a 6-pack of alcohol every weekend, and then they checked their DNA afterwards, and they were basically oxidizing like at about 4 times the rate of the people that were not doing that. So it's a just a one-page article, but it's interesting. We'll give you understanding of that. Yeah.
Yeah, I am a sugar addict.
Another
So,
energy.
you know.
So he just.
Yeah, I could be. I mean, what we're waiting from.
They safely just tonics. Yeah, you can.
So I was showing them in nutrition the Trinity. Like in Catholicism, you have the Trinity, the Father, Son, Holy Ghost. Well, you have that same correlation in nutrition. You have basically in Chinese medicine they call it Jing, Qi, and Shen, and this is like the body. This is like the energy of the body, and this is the spirit.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, come on in. Oh. Come on in. Hey, John. Hey. What's up, John? Oops. Jania, you made it.
So hard. How are you doing?
Thank you so much for coming. Yeah, no worries, you man. Hey, Ken, how's it going?
Fine, how you doing?
Good. You're You're right. You're right in time. I'm just about to get going.
You come around the back.
Do you want to? You want to? There is no back to get in. This is it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You want to?
I'm gonna lock my bike over.
Is there a place for him? You have to lock it. Okay. Yeah. That's my mushroom instructor from American College who taught me permaculture.
Maybe he can put his bicycle
He's
here
gonna,
and we can see it.
he's gonna lock it up. Yeah, he's gonna go lock it up somewhere. I mean, he knows where.
Or he can live near the door and we can see it.
That's not a good place to leave bikes. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. We're trying to fix that, but it's gonna be a few years before that reality changes. John, thanks for coming. I'm gonna actually since we have like the groups coming together, I'm gonna back it up to do a quick review of what's going on here. So just provide some for Jania and John. Provide some. Jania was a fifth grade student of mine in 2003 at Arts Far West, K through 12, right? It was like a K through 12 school.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then her sister was my kindergarten student that same year, and her brother was my fourth grade student. And then, like the year after that, I went to go visit them in Arizona when their mom moved to Arizona, and we went to
You was visiting
Yeah.
them. Okay.
and then we went to Sedona together. Day at a time, 2014, we were in Sedona, and so that was like, it's really special to me that she's here today. Yeah.
Amazing.
All right. So, just to give you a background on what I'm doing here. So, there's like two parts to the story, right? I'm talking about dragon herbs. These are Chinese tonic herbs, and I'm also talking about an idea that's a long-range idea going into multiple decades for converting recreational alcohol venues into tonic elixir bars, right? And there's some models for that happening, and Dragon Herbs in LA is like doing that very elegantly, right? So Ken, instead of like alcohol in these bottles, there's tinctures. There's cordyceps, ant, eucomia, reishi. So you go in there, right? You get everything is like
I get it.
you get it. Okay, so you'll be my VP of the mushroom part of it, right?
I can totally get. Oh, I already have stuff I can talk about.
Okay.
Actually, I brought some extracts, mushroom extracts.
You did? Okay.
So,
Okay, so everyone here pretty much knows me, but this part of me, this is a dolphin that I met in Mexico called Renoir, who's a famous dolphin. I'll tell you more about him individually.
Renoir.
Renoir, yeah, he's
Does he paint?
probably, yeah. He's like, I was just reading a book about this woman who saves dolphins and last night, and accidentally she started talking about him. I didn't know, like, and all of a sudden I knew he was famous. But this was like 2011 when I went out there, probably when I was taking one of your classes. So to understand Chinese tonic herbalism, you have to basically understand the basis of duality. We have a dual brain that's masculine and feminine. In nutrition, sugar is the ultimate yin energy, right? Salt is the ultimate yang energy. Like generally speaking, the U.S. Diet is like overly yin, you know, as a generalization, right? That's where a lot of the blood sugar problems come in. And all these nutrients, depending on what side of the spectrum, they're either expanding you or contracting you. So as I was, before you guys got here, oops, let me, all right, there we go. Excuse me. So basically, everything we eat and everything we do is either expanding us or contracting us. So for example, when people have like a tough 9-to-5 job Monday to Friday, they're contracting their blood vessels, right? They're getting stiff, their joints are aching, they're kind of annoyed. So they come Friday night, they want to have a drink, they want to have some ice cream. Like alcohol is expansive. So that's kind of why everyone like goes to go to the bars Friday, because they want to expand their blood vessels, right? After been contracting all week. but there's better ways of doing that, and that's kind of what the story is about. So also, within nutrition and Chinese tonic herbalism, there's a trinity framework. In China, they call it Jing, Qi, and Shen, and that translates to like body, soul, and spirit. The analogy of a candle is probably the best analogy for this. In order for a candle to have fire and light, it has to have a good strong wax, a waxy body. This is kind of like your core. This is like your primal energy. This is where the cosmos plugs into you, right? This is like your link to the cosmos. And in America, we have a lot of people trying to express a lot of fire and light, but they have a weak core. The body is filling up prematurely because they're not working on the Jing. So the Jing is sort of like the primary focus of Chinese tonic herbalism and nutrition as a whole, where I'm trying to point to. And even in Masonic architecture and art, they have a trinity system where you have the stars, you have the moon, you have the sun, and that correlates right to this as well. So, if you guys can grasp this part and just general grasp of it, you don't have to understand it fully, but duality intersects with Trinity when it comes to nutrition. You have the yin and yang, but you also have the three treasures interlocking. And this symbol, also another Masonic symbol, as you see here, you have the left and the right, the masculine and the feminine, the yin and the yang. When they're balanced together, your brain is in a state of contemplation. Right? Some countries, like India, they're too much right brain, too much in meditation, and America might be too much in concentration, too much over analyzing things, right? So that creates a brain imbalance. But if you bring the two hemispheres together, you're in contemplation, and that's what you want to get to in nutrition. You want to get to a state of contemplation where you're in balance. And so, yeah, so basically, there's the intersection, and well, I'm going to get into the herbs, but here it basically talks about all these herbs are either slightly Jing, slightly Qi, slightly Shen, and they're also either slightly Yin or slightly Yang. Some are more extreme to one or the other, but generally speaking, that's what we're looking at. And this also applies to superfoods as well, but those superfoods that have not been worked out as thoroughly as Chinese tonic herbs in that regard. So the yin and yang of the standard American diet. So basically, you have the expanding substances, right? Not to say that we should be or should not be eating any of these. This is just about we're talking about energy, right? So sugar and salt are the two extremes, and everything else falls in the middle. Anybody wants to admit where are you more yin or yang in your diets? Anybody want to shout that out? You're more yin? Ken, what about you?
I eat everything.
Are you like
Omnivore totally.
You're
full. All that stuff.
You're full in the middle then, right? Okay.
Total omnivore and all this stuff. I don't drink enough coffee. I don't drink enough coffee.
Try to be in the middle.
Right.
I was like sugar addict before.
I don't do beef or pork
Yeah.
or alcohol or coffee.
Yeah, so it's really like I'm like mostly I would say about half of these things probably not that good to eat, but generally speaking, I'm giving you an example of where they stand energetically on the spectrum.
Well, each thing has its own healthful version. Pharmaceuticals you don't eat usually, do you?
Well, in America, I think they're chopping them down like as if they're food.
Yeah, I guess so. That's the one thing I don't eat on there.
If you could do one thing today for yourself from this day, is to get this book, The Ancient Wisdom of Chinese Tonic Herbs, by Ron T. Garden. And he is, out of all the Caucasian herbalists, he's the number one guy. Ken, you got a ways to go.
I know who he is.
Yeah. Ken teaches 3 classes at you still teach 3 classes at Merritt College?
Oh, that's in limbo at the moment.
In limbo, okay. He was teaching a class on herbs, a class on beneficial beasts in the garden, like what animals you want in the garden, and also on mushrooms, yeah. And I had like 4 classes with him, so he's good. If I took 4 classes with anybody, he must be good at what he does. All right, so the 6 lessons that tonic herbs teach us. This is coming from my tea garden. So over time, over many years, if you consume these herbs, you will be better in all of these 6 different qualities.
Do you have that book in here?
I do, yeah. I actually do have it.
I brought a couple plants that might be in his book if you don't have to do it now. Don't
Okay.
have to do it.
All right. So these herbs require a delivery system, right? Because they don't give up their secrets that easily. You have to put them to something in order for them to get into your cells. So my favorite 2 things to put the herbs in are cacao and coffee, because I like both of these products when they're high quality and they drive them into your body pretty well. Honey and molasses maple syrup is a great way to preserve these herbs and consume them. You can put them in vinegar. You can extract them that way. Some of them require a hot water extraction, and that's the only way you're going to get certain adaptogenic properties out of these herbs. They require hot water extraction. And then sometimes, in order to get some of the medicinal properties, you require alcohol, and you have to sit in that alcohol for a year or 2. Sometimes, but see, here's the thing: alcohol is a powerful alchemical substance, and the idea. Hey, how's it going? Hi, looking for Rogelio, or are you coming to the show? Rogelio, he's probably in his office. You go ahead and walk right through this way. Yeah. No worries.
Oh, he's in the back.
Yeah.
There he is.
Okay. And then a lot of times tinctures will be in glycerin, because that's a pretty good preservative too. It's kind of like a carbohydrate. People who don't like alcohol, they can buy their tinctures in glycerin. But yeah, but people, they see, it's like when a pizza man comes to your house with a pizza, right? You don't eat the delivery man, right? You eat the pizza, right? He's just delivering you the pizza. What people are doing is they're drinking the delivery man instead of the pizza, right? So basically, they're drinking all this alcohol, but alcohol is really nothing. There's no medicine in there, so why drink it? There's no berries, there's no mushrooms in there, there's no, whatever else could be in there. They're just drinking alcohol. When you drink alcohol, make sure there's some medicine in your alcohol. That way, you won't need that much alcohol because you'll be high off the medicine. You kind of get the picture. That's really what America needs to learn in this century. You just need a little teensy bit. So these are some of the super Jing herbs, and I have a few. I've had a few passed around. What a lot of these Jing herbs, a lot of them are black in color or close to black. And what we're finding out is the black pigment in foods and herbs is supportive of the kidney organ system, and it supports the bone marrow. So I'm going to actually pass out. I'm going to show you like what a real black herb looks like. This is Sistanch, and this is Romania. And Romania is called the kidney's own food. That's its nickname in Chinese medicine. And then there's some cacao, 100% cacao. This is like 100% raw chocolate. And there's a shaga mushroom. So you can kind of see the pigments on these foods as to what I mean in regards to them having like a primordial aspect to themselves. Generally, my favorite out of these that I like always gotta have, not every day, but pretty much just have around, the deer antler, the goji berries, and the hoshu wu. Like deer antler tips. This is where you will want to become really wise. This will raise your level of intelligence. It will raise your spirit. You don't need a lot of it. Very small amounts of it. This is a very special herbal therapeutic formula. Schizandra berry for women. This would be probably the #1 thing to stay on. Right, for women is the Schizandra berry. Always to have Schizandra berry like in their house.
What are the benefits of it?
Schizandra berry is the #1 herb for the liver, which is going to help with the balance of hormones, because the livers are responsible for keeping the hormones in line. and women more sensitive to swings. But it's also, it helps with blood, helps keep the blood from getting stagnant, and it supports the kidneys too. So there's like a major blood component to it. And men are ruled by chi, but women are ruled by blood. That's kind of as the saying goes. And for reproductive health, Sistanch, like kind of for the libido thing, and just kind of what's related to that. This is stem from Mongolia, and that's one of those things in there. Sometimes these herbs are best obtained from Chinatown. Sometimes you want to get it from a health food store. Sometimes you want to get it from dragon herbs. It just depends, like where you at, what you have access to. But generally speaking, you want to talk to somebody like myself or Ken before you go get them the first time, because you want to make sure you're going to the right place to get them, right? So this is the Sika deer, from which where dragon herbs gets their deer antler tips. See, the deer antler has to grow 3 feet in a matter of like 2 months, because the bugs have to compete for their mates, so they have to they mate around winter time, and then the fawns are born in the spring. So through the fall, there's a big spring, right? A big spring of growth. So the tips are very hormonal, right? Very hormonal, and they also have something called ectosaponins in them. This is what's in starfish and lizards and geckos. Anything that could lose a tail or lose some kind of an appendage, and then it grows back. If you're able to grow back your tail, it means your organism has a lot of ectosaponins. So if you can grow back your antlers, you have ectosaponins in those antlers, and those ectosaponins will regenerate damaged nerve tissue, damaged joints. And nerves are really hard to regenerate, and the deer antler has those ectosaponins. And dragon herbs does have gecko extracts as well too. Gecko is a very powerful medicine because of those ectosaponins. So this is super chi tonics. So out of the super chi tonics, wow, these things are fabulous. The ant, if someone was totally like wasted and burned out, they needed energy, they were just totally over the hill, the ant tincture that dragon herbs makes would be a powerful thing because of the B12, soluble B12 and the zinc in the ant and the other minerals. Wild ginsengs and cordyceps are the most expensive foods in the world. I was in Chinatown on Grand Street. The wild cordyceps was going for $1,800 an ounce. A few days ago.
That's pretty cheap.
$1,800 an ounce?
It used to be $50,000 a pound.
Okay. So there must be like a...
It just varies. One time I was checking, it was 14,000. It had gone down, and for whatever reason, and the last time I checked, it was 50,000.
Okay.
And so I don't know. It all depends on how it works out, calculations and stuff.
Okay. Yeah, wild ginseng, like the really old roots that are like over 75 years old, are competing in cost with the cordyceps. They're kind of on that same wavelength. For the immune system, astragalus root, and for stress, rhodiola. To keep the hypothalamus and the pituitary from overreacting, it's the rhodiola root. So the Shen, these are the ones that basically create spirit and glow, raise your consciousness. This is why you'll ultimately want to take herbs. And these are the 3 reishis. I'm going to be cooking up some of the purple reishi later on. But yeah, these are very special Shen tonic herbs. Ron Teagarden's favorite herb is reishi, because it's at a certain age, a certain point, you're not really, like, the chi is not as important as your spirit. So at that point you start focusing on the spirit, and that might become where you put your energy at. But Tibetan rhodiola is really special as a Shen tonic. I take a product called Diamond Mind, with Tibetan rhodiola in it. So later on, Mary's going to be talking about the bone marrow and stem cells. And so within the bone, you have marrow, and this marrow turns into white blood cells, creates your immune system, right? It creates red blood cells too. the reason why every disease, every cold, every cancer is more dangerous for a man or a woman who's over 60 versus for an adult who's between 20 and 60 is because of the lack of migrating stem cells in the body. So they're now finding out that certain foods are basically stimulating stem cell circulation in the body. So this is a rubber tree. This is the only rubber tree that grows in a temperate climate. So it grows in the U.S. It's a non-tropical rubber tree, and the bark on that is very special. With the astragalus, they're now finding out that there's something in astragalus called astragalase 4, which basically helps your telomeres from unraveling. So basically, your telomeres are like the tips of your chromosomes, and there's like strands. Those strands are wound up, and the aging process is basically a process where the telomeres unravel, and every new replication of a cell, the cell is more and more damaged at the point of telomeres. So the astragalase 4 in astragalus is now supporting that process. So astragalus was really the first out of all the super herbs to break through and demonstrate in clinical studies for longevity. So that's, hey, come on in. That's great. Yeah. How's it going, man? Good. Michael Badar, he's from the Tree of Life Foundation, which works with Gabrielle Cousins and a lot of really cool projects. So he's going to be doing demo. Oh no, come on, come on. Yeah, Michael's presenting. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I have my presentation outside, but okay, I'll just sit for a while.
Yeah. Relax. We'll do an intermission in between everyone. So.
Okay, great.
I brought some Aishu Wu plant in flower. Would you like that for demo?
Is it for? Do we boil it or how we cook it?
You can eat it raw.
Raw? Okay. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Well, actually, let's do it during. Come hang out. We'll do it in intermission.
It's just.
Oh, it's just in the back.
So it's in the back.
Okay.
It's just like something so they can look
All right.
at.
I'll So, Michael, are you familiar with Ron Teagarden,
Yeah.
Dragon Herbs?
Yes.
So basically what this presentation was about was Chinese tonic herbs, Jing, Qi, and Shen. And also, I don't know if you've seen, let me see, the Dragon Herbs. Have you been to Dragon Herbs Tonic Bar in LA? You've been to the bar?
I haven't been there.
Okay, so I'll just show you right quick.
No need to restart.
I'll just show you this one. So this is basically a tonic bar. So it's a full-blown bar, but instead of like alcohol, they're serving tonic. So all those dispensers are like tinctures. So instead of like going there for like whiskey, you're going there for Hoshu Wu or Reishi or Shaga, and putting them into Ganastema tea. So it's like this is an idea that I'm throwing around about converting alcohol recreational bars into tonic bars.
I want something like that.
Yeah. So this is this is a long-term vision, but it's something that I think is getting more and more doable. So okay. So we'll go back to. So I got into the Qi tonics. There's the ant, the polyrac. Have you tried ant before?
Only unintentionally.
Unintentionally. So okay, the bone marrow. So this is one of the things I try to get across to people about hormones is basically people think like the aging process, like the bad parts of the aging process. Aging is not bad, but there's certain bad things that go on during the aging process. And people think that their hormones are declining because they're aging. Actually, the bad things that are happening to us is because our hormones are declining. So all the tonic herbs and other nutrients are going to support hormonal health. Hey, come on in. Take a seat anywhere.
Sure.
So this is some more photos of inside of dragon herbs. This is kind of like their setup. I mean, I wish I had better photos, but this gives you a really good essence, right, of what's going on there. You can do an elegant bar with a lot of heart, with music in it and whatnot. But it takes a long-term vision. This is not something like, you know, like, as John knows, like the Chinese are excellent at long-term projections and visions, right? They're building their culture not on like quarterly profits. They're building their culture on like 50-year visions, right? So we as Americans, we need to get better at these kind of like 50-year vision plans and start creating things with a lot of heart, with a lot of elegance, thinking about how young people's DNA is going to express epigenetically in the environment. We don't want to put junk in their bodies and put toxins in their bodies, because basically when they go on to have kids, their kids are not going to be as developed neurologically, hormonally as they can be, because the parents are doing bad things, right? So when you're thinking about like kids yet to be born, you're thinking in those long-term, multi-decade, you know, mental models, for lack of a better word. So this kind of goes back to the original Trinity. So Michael, I was talking about Jing, Qi, and Shen, and how the Trinity corresponds all across the board with nutrition, spirituality, everything. So this is another variation of a Trinity. So when your left and right brain hemispheres are coming together balanced, you're in contemplation, and your thought patterns are balanced. Your actions, your thoughts, and your emotions are all in alignment. There's no contradiction, right? A lot of times we have thoughts, we have emotions of a certain kind, but our actions are contradicting our thoughts and emotions. Like we're doing things that are not in alignment with what we're thinking and feeling. And that's a lot of the problems we have are because these two are not in alignment. So, oh, that's actually it right there. That's another story. So that's in essence the dragon herbs and potential freedom bar idea. Yeah, anybody any questions?
What's the freedom bar?
Well, the freedom bar is an interim name for the project of converting the recreational alcohol venues to tonic elixir bars. It's the interim. It's like I'm holding that name as a sort of visual. It might be called something else.
It's the American version of the dragon herb bar.
Yeah. I mean, I was actually wanting to work with dragon herbs. They're building a new tonic bar in New York right now. I was actually looking to work with them, but they're more into like formulas, right? They're not into kind of the activism component of it. They're into the kind of like getting the formulas right, which is that's their thing. But I'm kind of like more into the activism component of it and actually doing things to displace the junk that's out there, you know. So, but yeah, if they could work with me on this, that'd be great. So I think Mary, did you want to? I have a 10-minute pre-recorded video from Dave Stoddard on the vascular system.
Sure.
I could do that first, and then I'll have you.
That would be fine.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
So we have my friend. He owns Apple Health Food Store in the Silicon Valley in Redwood City. He pre-recorded a 10-minute presentation on the circulation, health, and vascular protection. So it's a 10-minute pre-recorded video that's pretty powerful. He has some really good insights on it. So I'm going to throw that on right quick.
What's the name of this venue?
Apple Health Foods. It's been there probably for like since the 80s. Yeah, I think he's owned it since the 90s. So it's, you know, like mom and pop store.
You might have to move the chair so people can get out. Thank you. Gracias.
Just go ahead and walk. If you can fit right over there, yeah.
Thank you.
Sorry. Alright, so. John, do you have any questions on anything?
No.
You good? Okay. All right. So, all right, there it goes. Oh, where's the volume at? Hold on a second.
The importance of circulation, okay? Everybody, David from Apple Health Foods. Again, sorry I couldn't be with you today because I really enjoyed the first time I came to the meeting, and I want to thank Vadim for putting everybody together and keeping us focused on important health issues. And we want to talk about the importance of circulation, okay? I remember asking a good friend of mine who's an acupuncturist. We do a radio show called The Medicine Men. You might want to tune it in. It's every Friday from 6 to 7 in the morning on KEST 1450. And his name's Dr. John Daners. I said, John, you know, there's a lot of talk about longevity. You know, we're lengthening the telomeres and we're doing this and calorie restriction. And how did the Chinese 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 years ago, how did they look at longevity? And he said one of the key things was blood stasis. Blood stasis. Stagnant blood. So, one of the keys to longevity, they said, was simply to move. Gentle, consistent, stay in motion. And I just want to mention one thing really quick. I've noticed that as people come into Apple Health Foods, and I meet people in their 70s, 80s, and 90s who are doing really, really well, I notice that they share 4 things. One is they don't take medications, they eat real food, they take supplements, and they walk. Almost everybody walks to stay in steady motion. Now, the whole idea that the Chinese associated a short life with blood stasis. Now, you notice that scientists, just big breakthrough study, sitting is the new smoking, okay? Because we sit all the time. And Dr. Sanjay Gupta often said that if you sit around and lay around for 23 hours a day and exercise for just 1 hour a day, that is still a sedentary lifestyle. All of the nourishment has to get in to all the nooks and crannies of your body, all the toxins have to come out, and that is circulation. So besides doing exercise, stay in motion. Now, I saw a really interesting video. I'm going to forget the name of the doctor. He was a comical-looking fellow, and he was there with a bunch of cadavers. And he was peeling back the muscle fiber like you would a piece of meat, you know, at a butcher. And sure enough, there was all this fuzz. And he pointed out that that's what you see when people have a sedentary lifestyle. You get this fibrous material building up in your tissues, okay? So one of the things that we really want to do is move. You notice, as I'm doing this video, I'm taking a moment, I'm simply walking in place, swinging my arms a little bit. Notice I'm breathing a little harder. I'm even starting to sweat just a bit. Now, you know, I'm going to encourage everybody who doesn't exercise to do this simple thing. Most of you, us, watch at least a half hour of TV every day. So next time you don't sit down to watch your favorite TV show, stand up and do this. Simply walk in place. Most of us, no matter what our level of physical activity, can do this. And you know something? If you get up and do it, 3 minutes, you're tired, stop. Get up the next day. Now let's talk about some of the ways to improve circulation. But I have one more bit of advice. I want you to think of a candy apple. Most of you would have one. And what happens when you take 2 candy apples, stick them together? Exactly, they stick together. One of the biggest causes of blood stasis, poor circulation, besides just being sedentary, is sugar. That's right, high sugar, and that can be grains, rice, cereal, pasta, fruit juice, not just candy, sodas, and cakes. Sugar causes your blood cells to be sticky, they stick together, and cause blood stasis, poor circulation. So this is why the paleo hunter-gatherer diet is generally the best kind of diet for people, because you reduce dramatically the sugars. So what are some of the nutritional factors that can improve circulation? Well, fish oil, besides reducing inflammation, which is one of the causes of why your arteries break down and become plaqued up and either occlude your circulation or just make the arteries stiff so you don't get good circulation. And the DHA component of fish oil has been shown to perhaps definitely prevent the buildup of plaque, if not reverse it. So fish oil is high on the list. Vitamin C. You know, scurvy is zero vitamin C. And when you get zero vitamin C, your arteries break down. Now, a tiny bit of vitamin C, an orange, will usually prevent scurvy. But research shows we need 3,000 to 5,000 milligrams of vitamin C daily to prevent arterial breakdown. Now, your bioflavonoids, and these are hundreds of different compounds that we find in foods that have vitamin C, you can get supplements that contain them. The bioflavonoids also help the C absorb and add to the integrity of the blood vessels. Nutrients like grapeseed extract and pycnogenol, which are actually the same nutrient just from different sources. Pycnogenol is expensive, it has a lot of studies, but grapeseed extract and pycnogenol will also help the arterial integrity. Now, let's not forget L-arginine. L-arginine is an amino acid that helps make nitric oxide. Nitric oxide opens up blood vessels, improves circulation, and can help heal the arterial walls, what they call the endothelial cells, which is where plaque begins. Now, there are some just good circulatory herbs. Cayenne, garlic, vitamin E, foods, as well as herbs and nutrients. And they get the circulation. And the last thing that I want to mention is an enzyme called nattokinase. Now, nattokinase comes from a, I'm told, nasty-tasting soy food called natto. And nattokinase actually helps eat up your clots.
Oh. Yep. Did we blow something? Oh. Computer's still on, so let's see.
It might be an interface between the computer and the conductor.
Let's see what's computer projector. This is
Does the computer have something on the screen?
yeah, computer's working, yeah.
Oh, it's between the computer and the projector.
Okay, so
Is it overheated? Maybe just turn it off and turn it back on.
well, that's pretty much that's the gist of it. We're gonna use actually for Mary's. We're using a DVD, right? Yeah, DVD player. So
Do you have it?
I have it with me. Yeah. So
Okay.
we're
So I have it too. I
Yeah.
got a second one. Just-
okay.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So you guys got the gist of that. Yeah. Anything new pop out in there for anybody here that you didn't already know? Anybody get something out of there? Yeah. Okay. What do you think?
This one.
Yeah. Okay. I need to get Ken's seal of approval here for everything.
I bike everywhere, so I don't. Gotta get my activity.
Yeah.
I'll use this break to get my
Okay.
show.
Buddies?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, good.
Hey, is this where the demo is happening?
The food. I'm gonna probably do the.
Oh, okay.
I'll make the food over there.
Okay.
As far as like heating anything. Yeah. Though it's possible we could move it here too. Yeah.
Sorry.
So I have some gynostemma tea here from Dragon Herbs. Do you guys want a cup? This is it's ready to go.
Oh.
Yeah. How's the tea, Angelique? It's good. We'll get enough for everyone. So Mom, you want? Cook?
Yeah, I want one. It was like that then.
I'm not just square down here. So. How is it?
You have a little comic. No.
I'm doing it.
Oh, I don't know the movie, that's why I have to run, so I wouldn't even be able to, but thank you.
Got some sugar?
I have some stevia. You want some stevia?
Anyway, we have them there.
Did you get a cup yet, Nate?
I just passed it on, so if you
Okay.
have a cup, it's fine.
Oh, what's your name? Dan?
Yeah.
Are you from the Marys?
I like your own cup.
Okay.
I messed up my Achilles.
What?
My Achilles tendon. My Achilles. My Achilles tendon.
Oh,
Back of my
really?
head.
Oh, my God.
I came down the stairs.
Well, the Achilles is different. You got shot-
We'll be in touch.
you got shot in the heel with an arrow, and that's the only place you was
Maybe do you want any tea right now?
Yeah, tea would be fine. I'm just waiting for a couple of people that want to see the presentation. So-
I'll see you later, yeah.
So you could
Thanks for coming.
and
Yeah.
he was holding the heel, and the heel.
Okay, bye-bye.
You got the box of tea, right?
Good.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
That's all he had.
Is it still recording? Going around.
What's the name?
3.
See you, Tom. Hi.
After the one. What do you think, John? Like it?
Yeah.
Good.